We got to commit, and this time, Jeramiah McCloud, Gadsden County, down there in Havana, Florida. Now, I'm being told that's how you say it. Not Havana, Havana. So there we go. If I'm right, let me know. If I'm wrong, let me know. But that's the way I was reached out to. Somebody reached out to me and said, hey, that's how you say it. They were getting out in front of it. But anyway, Jeramiah McCloud, 6'4", 285 pounds. I know right here, the rankings, the star ranking, the rating here is not going to blow your doors off. But we're going to get into that. I say do not worry. 24/7 Sports has him as the 501st overall player, the 50th ranked defensive lineman. The On3 Industry Rankings also a 3-star, 459 overall, 38th ranked defensive lineman. This past season, Tallahassee Democrat, all Big Ben selection on defense, worked out of multiple alignments up front, totaling 55 tackles, 14 of them for a loss, and 12 sacks. The in-state defensive lineman has been committed to Mississippi State since January, but then recently decommitted. Of course, before that, Florida was entering the picture in February, been gaining momentum since then. After receiving that offer from Florida, McCloud visited Florida 3 times, the most of any school, bringing his mom and his coach on that last visit. Things were starting to trend. In early April, he even admitted that a potential flip was in the works. And this was almost just a matter of time, especially since he decommitted from Mississippi State last week. It was just a matter of time that we think McCloud was going to become a Gator. So LSU was trying to get into the mix as well. So LSU, Florida seemed to be the primary contenders. But he did mention Georgia in that top 3 as well. But Florida, the Gators get this one done largely thanks to the effort of new defensive line coach Gerald Chapman. Big-time reviews here in this recruitment, to go along with Austin Armstrong and Billy Napier as well being a heavy hand in this recruitment. A big impact there. So teams such as Florida, LSU, Colorado, Georgia, Auburn, and USC, they all joined this race after his commitment to Mississippi State. Mississippi State, kind of set the alarm off a bit, and then the other schools kind of started joining in. And, of course, the in-state Gators ended up getting the commitment here. So, many of those programs invited him to their campuses this spring, so taking those visits, but it just seemed like Florida was going to end up being the choice. But so let's go. Let's share some highlights of him as well, because you're gonna like what you see here, big time, and what you hear, So let me get those going. So if you're watching the YouTube version, you get to see these junior season highlights here. McCloud secured MVP honors for the defensive line at the Under Armour camp in Orlando this past February, where he did not lose a single rep in the offensive line versus defensive line one-on-ones. He started camping, and that's what led to the more offers. Mississippi State commitment, and then going to this camp setting and just completely dominating. More offers started flooding in. So at Mississippi State, this is what you want to hear, getting comps to Fletcher Cox and Chris Jones. At the camp, the review of him was McCloud is a guy that loves competition. He was a workhorse on the field today, handling business in the trenches. His efforts earned him the most valuable player along the defensive line. Going hard is exactly what he did. Obtains and processes knowledge so quickly, has a quick release from the line that gives offensive linemen the blues. He's a magician with his hands. Here is what he said when asked, what about that day, or what about what he learned at that camp? He goes, today I'd say pad level, having quick hands, making sure to keep my hands active. So this is a part of that review. This is the kid who does not make the same mistake often, if at all. McCloud moved around well for 6'4", 280 pounds. This young man stood out against some very good offensive linemen today. Every time he took a rep, you could see pins going to pads. So people taking notes. All those scouts taking notes there. McCloud turned heads with his quickness and strength. It was hard for offensive linemen to stop him. So 24/7 Sports' Neil Stopczynski offers This is from a Mississippi State side of things. Big-bodied, muscled-up football player with very good length in his limbs and sizable upper body. Lines up on both ends of the defensive line at defensive end and 3 tech, and also in 2-point and 3-point stances. Comes in at tight end and jumbo and plays select special teams. Possesses exceptional big man mobility and athleticism. Gets depth off an explosive first step, placing immediate pressure on the offensive line. Flashes ability to counter inside, has a shock shed and spin move, as well as an effective strong arm on the outside rush. Throws a good punch off the ball, has an effective bull rush, operates at the point of attack with overwhelming play strength at times. Can bully around bodies at his level. Needs to play with better consistency at pad level, but often can skirt leverage with power, motor, aggressiveness, arm length, and highly active hands. Functional with his arms, but also raw. He has his base tendencies without always stacking together a pass rush arsenal. Gives great effort in attack mode, glides to the football, feet are high and quick, runs like a linebacker, lots of juice in his step, straight line speed, excellent lateral fluidity, and reactionary athleticism. Sells out and sacrifices his body to make the play on the ball or rush the passer. Vertically explosive. Plays with great energy and juice. Visibly communicative. Team leader on the field. Dominant, disruptive defensive presence. The term beast tends to get thrown around in a liberal fashion, but Jeramiah McCloud certainly fits that description. This ball of excitement possesses quite a unique combination of physical and athletic traits. He has dominant strength, power, and explosiveness, and just a puppy in terms of his play history. His career is just getting started. He may not be a team captain, and many schools only allow this to be a senior, but he is the guy to speak in the huddle, fire the team up, and lead them on the field, which clearly shows the leadership intangible. Jeramiah McCloud is how they are supposed to look and will be a highly sought-after prospect in this particular recruiting cycle. While he lines up at both end and tackle at the high school level, he will be a disruptive presence on the interior at his next destination. Assuming continual upward trajectory in his growth and development, McCloud projects to be a difference maker at the next level with an NFL future. That was a ton of praise for one Jeramiah McCloud. And I'm telling you, just watch this. I mean, look, Huddle, I know these highlights are supposed to pick out the best, but you can see why. You can absolutely see why all those terms that were just getting thrown around, all those descriptions of McCloud, he's not going to stay a 3-star for long. He's not. And just the versatility here, as I said, tackle in. You saw here being able to stand up as well. He's going to be a versatile piece. McCloud could play defensive end or bulk up and slide inside. His versatility and Power 5 level size make him a very intriguing prospect. And he has said, after he committed and talking to reporters here, told Blake Alderman of Swamp 24/7 that Florida likes him to be able to move around, play inside on early downs, and at end on third down.